Is minimalism boring, soulless, just a trend, only for rich people? No, absolutely not. Minimalism is for everybody. And it's not just a trend, because there's always going to be people that want to live frugal, resourceful, sustainable lives. That's not going to go in and out of trend. A lot of people are minimalist, but they don't identify as minimalist because they just want a simple life where they can, live frugally and invest their money. It's not just a trend. And it's not dying either, Matt. It will never die. And boring? I don't think it's boring. I think it's boring to waste all your money on stuff like I used to do. Buying manga and buying a whole bunch of stuff I didn't need, that's boring. You know what's not boring is not when you stop wasting your money, you can invest it. That's fun. It's fun when you save more money so you can go on cool trips, like I was able to go to Europe and New York. That's cool. That's not boring. And I was only able to do this because I was a financial minimalist. Minimalism is boring and soulless because everyone can do it. Everyone can become a minimalist in a day. And one of the beauty of minimalism is that everyone can do it. Everyone can pretty much have the room that I have. And soulless, this just isn't true. I was literally able to find God. Once I got rid of all the distractions in my life, I actually got to think about deeper questions. And God's always knocking, and I just finally opened the door. We have this false idea of individualism, and it's toxic and it's superficial because it's all about the outside. Oh, look at me, I've got the certain haircut, I've got a pink shirt, oh, I've got all these tattoos and piercings. Oh, nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying people obsess about it and they make it their personality. And like, oh, you like DC? Oh, I like Marvel better. Oh, you like that certain football team? Oh, I like Pepsi, you like Coke. Look at, I'm wearing a Pepsi hat. All these things, that's not why we're an individual. None of that matters. Your dignity, your value comes from God, nothing else. We are nothing. I am nothing. You are nothing. The only thing we are justified in is God. I have an announcement to make. I will be gone for the month of November. I'm taking 30 days off. No YouTube, no watching, no commenting, nothing. I've been addicted to YouTube since I was 13 years old. So I'm going to do a 30-day detox. You can do it with me if you want, and we can see how it goes. I just need some time to focus on school, but I will be back in December with that video. 30 days without YouTube. Every time you buy something, that's more you have to work. You buy that live, laugh, love sign, that's more you have to work. But instead, you could buy an asset. Instead of buying that sign, buy an index fund. Buy a stock in a company that pays a dividend. And guess what? That will pay you for the rest of your life, and you'll have to work less. Instead of having, you buy that sign, you have to work one more hour. Versus you could buy an investment, even a small investment. That's one less hour you have to work because you're closer to retirement, because you're closer to having enough passive income that you can cover your living expenses so you can become financially free. Especially in America, as we become more secular, people tend to focus more on pleasure and comfort. And so when people are stressed, instead of praying and going to church and depending on their community and sticking to their principles, they just embrace hedonism. They just get stuck on the hedonic treadmill. They just buy stuff. They just eat that comfort food. And this is causing us to have an obesity crisis and a debt crisis because we have this void. When we feel stressed, we want that void to be filled because we're scared. And instead of turning on what we should be turning to, we're turning to all the things and just doubling down on the world, and the world will never be enough. And so just buying stuff, you get that instant hit of dopamine, but then after you have less money. That's why we have such high credit card debt, because people just keep buying more and more stuff. And most people can't even afford this because they're living paycheck to paycheck. And that's why minimalism, not only is it a financially good thing, it's a spiritually good thing. It's better for the environment, because when you're just buying all this random stuff and, living a maximalist life, you're going into debt most likely, or you're spending money that you could have invested, and your money is your time. You can have stuff that you collect over your life as a minimalist. I'm on the more extreme side, but it's okay to have things from your life. It's just we want a minimal amount of those things. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, but hopefully that makes sense. Minimalism is full of individuality. It's not boring. It's so spiritual. It's not soulless. It's way more individual than anything because we recognize where our value comes from. It's not just for rich people. It's literally for everyone. It's how we're going to become rich.